So it looks like we can finally put the debate to rest when it comes down to if Merlin loves King Arthur or not, like a actual lover. Nakaba-sensei clarified in a Q&A in this chapter. I'll have it on screen for you to see it for yourself, but he says that the relationship between Merlin and Arthur is like a master and pupil. So Arthur, he looks up to, Merlin like a master, cares deeply for her, and Merlin looks at Arthur as, her pupil and wants to take care of him. So it's, like I've been saying for a very long time, it's like a mother-son relationship. So I'm very glad that Nakaba-sensei clarified that in this chapter of Taizai. That Escanor scene was heavy. I didn't think I would see such a heavy Escanor scene. I mean, this man is always shining bright. Literally, he's always shining. And he always has this pride. He always has these epic, panels and pages and stuff we've seen of him. He's always been a character that I just love to see. And we don't really get to see Escanor often in a very sad moment, where you could just see him having a very depressed mood. And when you saw how Arthur is apparently dead, he tries to confront Merlin and encourage her, make her feel better. And he was going to knock on the door. You see the panel. He's going to knock on the door and, try to talk to her, try to cheer her up. And he starts saying a couple things out loud or in his mind what he should say. And then he realizes what he's going to say is relatively messed up. It's not good for the occasion, okay? He may be a prideful man, and that, in a lot of ways, is a good thing and a bad thing. There's a lot of weaknesses to it, and we get to see that downfall. And Escanor himself even realized the downfall of his own pride in that moment. He realized when he was, saying, Arthur may be gone, but I'm still here for you and all that. It's a very despicable and scummy thing to say. And then he was like, no, I can't say that. You legit saw how he knew that he couldn't help himself. You had to where Escanor himself realized that his words, what he was wanting to say, would not help Merlin at all. It'd make her feel a lot worse, and he realizes that it just wouldn't be good at all. And so he, at that moment in time, realized that he could not actually help out Merlin. He realized that he had a flaw. He wasn't perfect, and that right there crushes his pride when you think about it. He cannot help out the very woman that he loves, someone he looks up to, someone that is his son. He cannot help out. He cannot cheer her up because of his own body, his own curse. I feel bad for Escanor, I really do, because like I said, it's a very heavy moment. He realized that he cannot help her out or say anything without having to throw himself in and make himself look good, because he's just that much of a prideful man. And I do like the fact that Escanor was aware of this and did not talk to Merlin. That actually just shows a lot about Escanor's character, that even though he is a prideful man, he realizes that there is a time and place to when he needs to be prideful and not be prideful and just not say anything at all. And so when he walked away and all that, my respect for him grew a lot. Because if he would have walked in there and said something like that to Merlin, it would be like Escanor to say, but at the same time, it would have made me not really like it, because I'd be like, that's a scummy thing to say, even though, you're like that. You're a prideful man. Just saying something like that when this man is basically dead, scummy. So I do appreciate that what Nakaba did with Escanor's character, and that Escanor had the maturity to just walk away. But I'll leave that there. Let's talk about King Arthur for a second. So King Arthur, it's implied that he's dead. That threw me for a loop. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm legit. I'm out of whack right now. I didn't think, Arthur would die. I mean, I figured because of the sword, big stab within him and all that, I figured that he was going to be okay, because it was implied that if, the blood gets on the sword and all that, then, your soul will go in it. It's your final moments. But since technically he didn't do it and the sword didn't make him do it, and since, it was done by, the napping demon, Cusack, I was like, maybe he'll be fine. Maybe the sword won't hurt him. But that apparently was not the case at all. Now, there's a couple of things that could potentially be happening here. Number one, Arthur could be within the sword, probably going through his own training arc. He can be going through his own time skip training session, trying to learn how to control the sword and awaken his magic power. His soul literally could be within the sword, just communicating with all the former kings and heroes, and then he's eventually going to come out and be fine. I could see something like that, because it would make sense because how the sword was given characterization. I could definitely see Nakaba-sensei pulling something like that. However, there's another thing. With Arthur technically being dead, let's say his soul is not in the sword right now or whatever, it's just somewhere else, he might be in purgatory. And let's think about a character that is in purgatory right now. You might not remember the man because he's been gone for 43 weeks now. Bon is in purgatory. And if we go by the logic of what maybe could be going on with Arthur, if he's in purgatory or something, maybe his soul went to purgatory, Bon's gonna find him and then help him out. That would be interesting. That would be a very interesting thing if that's where Nakaba wants to take it. Maybe Bond meets Arthur in purgatory, helps him out, getting out and all that, get back to his body. I would like that turn of events, but I don't know if that'll go that way. But I do want to point something out. When it comes to death in Taizai, we have seen that it can be permanent, but at the same time, it sometimes can be negated as well. I mean, good examples is Elaine. Elaine is a perfect example of a character that was dead and is technically still in the story. So, we know that death, it does have meaning, but characters can come back with certain restrictions or consequences, but they can come back. So, King Arthur coming back, it's not a stretch. I mean, even Meliodas, he's come back. He's cursed to continuously be reincarnated, or, never die, and, Elizabeth is reincarnated. I mean, we've had characters constantly coming back to life, so it's been an ongoing theme in Taizai. So, Arthur being dead, I don't think that is probably going to happen. I do believe he might be out of commission for a while. I do believe when he does come back, he might have went through some form of training, and he might have his magic power, but I do believe that he's going to be fine at the end of the day. That's just my thoughts. But death does happen in the series. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm just wanting to point that out. So the Holy War has officially begun. Like, the plans to the initiation of the battle plans and all that, the assault team, search and destroy team and all that. I'm just like, this is actually happening. And when it comes to shonen series, when war happens, usually that means that the series is getting very close to its conclusion. I do believe that Taizai is reaching into its final stretches. I mean, Nakaba-sensei did say a long time ago, a very long time ago, I made a video like a year and a half, 2 years ago. It was a while back. He might not even remember it, though. But I remember there was, an article. Nakaba came out and stated that he wanted to make 3 arcs. He had 3 arcs planned for Taizai. He already had it all laid out. He knew what he wanted to do with Taizai. He had 3 main story arcs. He had the whole thing with the first arc, with, Hendrickson and Dreyfus. And then the second one was going to be about the 10 Commandments. And now this third arc, I'm assuming, is going to be along the lines of focusing on the Holy War and the Demon King and the Supreme Goddess. That's kind of what this third arc is about. So when you look at it, it does seem like we're in the final arc. I mean, when you look at all of the details that's been built up for a very long time. Now, Nakaba has went out and stated that there is a possibility he will do a sequel. If there is enough demand for it and all that, he will do a sequel. But in terms of this story, Taizai, it is definitely reaching closer to its conclusion because of the war starting, to the whole thing with the demons and Goddess Clan going at each other. I mean, there's just a lot of things happening that just, screams the fact that we're reaching into the final stretches of the manga. We have Hendrickson and Gilthunder going with Rudisill and Merlin and Escanor, and I'm just like, okay, I mean, you look at these 3 characters, Rudisill, Merlin, Escanor, they're powerhouses. They're not people you can underestimate. And then you see Gilthunder and Hendrickson, I'm like, what? Like, they're pretty much cannon fodder, okay? That's what they are. I mean, look, don't get me wrong, I love Gilthunder, I love Hendrickson, I love their characters, they're really great characters, I've always loved them, but at the end of the day, they're not that strong, okay? They're not that strong. I mean, when you think about the grand scheme of things of what we have witnessed, they're not. So, Gilthunder and Hendrickson joining in with Rudisill and all them, I'm just like, they're gonna get in the way. They're easily gonna get in the way. I do say that, I understand why they're going. I mean, Hendrickson going along with Rudisill is because Hendrickson, he just really loves the Goddess Clan. He basically worships them. So, I mean, him going with Rudisill makes perfect sense, especially when he's probably under the control of brainwashing. And then you have the stuff with Gilthunder, which, Margaret, her body was snatched, so yeah, Gilthunder wants to go there to make sure that Margaret's body isn't messed up. I feel like Gilthunder and Hendrickson are not going to really offer much in the upcoming fights. They might even get in the way because of just how the other 3 are very powerful while they are not. All the demons, basically, majority of the demon clan has come out of the goddess clan still. The still is almost completely gone, and they are getting ready to attack and go in. You have the napping demon Cusack and Chandler also being, like, going into their true forms and all that, and about to attack. So I'm looking forward to the upcoming fight, because, I mean, they've always been cool demons. They're high-class demons. I mean, look what they did to Arthur, so, I mean, I'm excited. It's going to probably be a bloodbath in the upcoming chapters. Now, speaking of bloodbath, I did a little bit of research, and I was also told, too, on social media. I was told that Cath was a monster cat in myth, and then I decided to go on my way and look it up, and yeah, it is definitely true. Cath is based off of, like, this giant demonic monster cat. And I'm not gonna go into details because of spoilers, because Nakaba has taken details from myth and stuff and put it into Taizai, so I'm not going to dive too deep into it, but I will say that Cath and his expression in this chapter when he looked bloodthirsty, I'm like, yo, Cath is about to go off the deep end. I mean, when you look into his legend, what Cath did, and then you see his expression and what's happened to Arthur, I'm like, a lot of demons are about to die. I dare say, because of what Cath did to Cusack and Chandler, how he caught them by surprise and using, telekinesis and stuff, I could definitely see maybe Cath, if he goes really all in, if he goes according to his lore and myth, I could see Cath maybe taking down either Chandler or Cusack. I'm not even gonna lie. I could definitely see that if Nakaba wants to pull that card, because Cath by no means is weak. We've already seen this. Look what Cath did to, one of the demons. He just consumed the demon like it was nothing. And then he was holding back, like, Cusack and Chandler, which is an impressive feat nonetheless. So, yeah, I have a good feeling that Cath is probably going to be doing something crazy in this upcoming fight, but that's just me. That's my personal opinion. Well, that's about it. I mean, we do get to see Merlin cry, which was a very different expression we don't normally get to see. She even says she hasn't cried in over 400 years. The last time she cried was apparently like this demon frog liver that Meliodas had, which I'm like, oh, that sounds revolting. I mean, I love my liver. I like eating liver, but frog liver, whatever that was made, that sounds heinous, okay? So I can see why Merlin cried, but, yeah, Merlin, she lost Arthur, and she's carrying on. She's trying to hold herself together and carry on, and trying not to lose the things that she still has. So, she's very mature. For someone that's lived for a long time, it definitely shows. She is definitely a mature woman. But I want to end it there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And I love you guys. Please be safe. Chibi out.